Jupiter, send! Woo!
Where are your flying shoes?
Welcome!
Be
to
ready
the
for
Iron
combat.
Seas.
Kahuna brought the abs, but you didn't bring the flying shoes.
I have a single.
Well, I
ab.
was flying right there. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
You apes want to live forever.
All right, welcome to the Iron Seas, the biggest
Oh.
Jupiter ascending podcast around.
Juniper Ascending. We are a dedicated Juniper Ascending podcast.
I am
That's
captain of the day, Bat Sauce,
That's
also known as the short bus veteran.
Bat
I am joined in the short bus with our lovely queen, Mila Kunis,
Oh my
and the
God.
best actor probably in this whole world.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, I have some
better.
comments about
So.
that.
Yeah.
All right,
I
we
mean,
got our host.
they have the same bra size, so it kind of works out. But you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with me, as usual, we got Pritchard Pub, Ultimate Kahuna, and we have a guest today. He's running a little late. He'll be on later. He is the tome of the reckoning. Tomb. I keep
The Tomb of the Reckoning.
Yeah. So we got a slew of topics to talk about today. A lot of Lord of the Rings news, and we're going to obviously talk about Jupiter Ascending.
we
It's
was
gonna happen.
rangs.
Rings.
I freaking love that.
Some world building stuff and whatnot. But first, let's get into a little bit before you guys get to introduce yourself, we'll talk about a little bit what we're doing this week, what kind of things we've been looking into, right? So recently, I just finished AC's book, Mortal Descent.
Oh yeah, you got one of the
Yeah.
later editions. Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
We should have a stream where we just trash the shit out of it.
I would
Just
love
trash
that.
everything, man.
I would love a roast stream. The roast of Bat
Yeah.
Sauce, Kahuna, and AC. I would love that.
It's like seriously, you turned iguanas into a race. Like seriously.
Lizardmen. Come on.
No, we will disrespectfully call them iguanas.
Sure.
It's like every
Then,
night they curl up next to their heat lamp. Anyway,
Yeah. Besides that, currently I'm reading Vigilante's Creed. But that's what I got going on for the week. Pritchard, how's it going?
Well, it's going good, brother. I've been
Yeah.
I've been hard at work, world building and editing, and doing art projects on the side. I just staying busy, man.
yeah, man.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The Kahuna.
I have
The ultimate
a
kind.
great many things going on. Ultimate power, conquering the state of Washington and giving it back to the people would be great.
Yes.
But small steps. Nope, I finished reading the 6th book in the Wheel of Time series. First time going through it. Very long book, but they've gotten very, very good in the last couple of books. So it's if you can last through the first one or two, it does.
That's
really
what I
good.
hear. It's a lot of book.
No, it is, and that's why I completely understand anyone who cannot get there. But if you can, I'm become one of those people. It's like it is worth it. It is worth the journey.
Okay.
Let's see. I made a video announcing this stream just on the way here. Just filmed, edited it in the car while at a stoplight and not driving. Absolutely, officer. And I have one comment on it that made me chuckle right as we were getting on. It's some random person who's not a subscriber. The hell? And so I commented back. I'm curious where that conversation will go.
That's kind of gay.
Yes.
Got a whole
I
bunch of
love
things.
it.
Can you control those? I did give you some admin rights. I hope you can control that.
Nope.
You don't have to do both. Not UAC. Apparently I can only give one person. So
That's
Kahuna,
okay. That's okay.
I don't know if yours.
I
looks
don't
different.
know. Nine does not,
whatever.
but
Whatever,
I'm sure there's a way.
StreamYard. All right. So we'll wait till
yeah.
our guest of the show comes in before talking about Juniper Ascend. I think. So
we got plenty of subjects to talk about, though.
yeah, I mean, because we're probably going to hit Lord of the Rings twice. Because recently, this past week, we got double dipped, right? I mean, look, we're going to get to we're going to talk about the Rings of Power trailer. I don't know if you guys seen it, but at least I mean, we might, if you guys want to view it, we can maybe do that.
Yeah, as long as we don't get hit. It is a trailer, sure there shouldn't be copyright, but
Yeah. Well, that's why I say
Yeah,
we'll
no.
do it at the end because they could get hit. And then we'll edit it out real quick. But so the movie, and I talked about it on my own channel. Man, the
I saw
Gollum
that, yeah.
movie. Come on, man. I
Why
really
would
just wanted to
you-
get that video out so I can get the thumbnail out.
I know, like
Yeah.
that. Joe messages me. He's like, "Hey, do you think you could put Gollum's face on a woman?" I'm like, "I'm sure I could. Why? Why? In the good name of the
Woman's
Lord, would
face
you
on
want to?"
Gollum.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, you
I
guys
got
know what's
mixed
going on?
up with
That's the Kotaku freaking, journalist that's been like stirring a bunch of shit with a lot of creators online when it comes to opinions with some like liberal things. Man, I totally forgot, man.
That doesn't even I don't even think that's worth covering. People are like, there's always people do hell. Like I was talking to Jared Christman on Twitter the other day, and he's gotten hit by Irwin the author, quote unquote. He writes words on Twitter, so therefore author. Yeah, just talking about trolls on the internet, and it's always fun to
I think I saw a
Yeah.
little bit of that.
enlighten people. It's to those kind of people.
I just thought her face was fitting for Gollum, and it worked out. Man, I totally forgot. I got a new like applause thing. Pirate soundies. You guys
Yes.
know that, right? Yeah. Okay.
I feel
So,
I feel like I could kill. I feel like Maximus entering the battlefield. I'm ready.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's
Um,
go.
But like I said on my own video with the announcement of Gollum, I like really like I barely even remember that part in the Fellowship of the Rings, and not to mention I forgot that Aragorn had any part in that. Like it was such a small part. Talking about Gollum looking for the rings, or the ring, the One Ring.
Is that in the? Wait, is this in the trailer or?
It's in the
No, this
it's
is
in
an
the books,
announcement.
Yeah. It's an announcement.
okay.
Yeah.
For an upcoming Lord of the Rings movie, which they're basically it's called The Hunt for Gollum.
Yeah, that's
And-
what it was called. Yeah, I thought it was called Finding Gollum, but that sounds like a weird romance movie, and that's not.
Finding Nemo.
Actually, you know
Yeah.
what? Let's make our own version of a Gollum romance film. How to-
Yeah.
How to lose
It
a
would
ring
have
in
to
10 How to lose a ring in 10
Wait.
days. I don't.
It would
Is
have to
Dio in
be-
the chat? Dio, you're supposed to be in here.
It would have to be. It would have to be gay Gollum. Because-
Really
Yeah.
tremendously gay. Yo, BS, what's up, man? Hey,
Hey.
welcome to the show.
Well, that's
Like-
the problem. It's like they should have learned this already when it came to The Hobbit. There wasn't enough story to tell 3 movies. Now you're 2 pages is supposed to tell a movie? Come on, man.
If what I'll say is this: if you have a story to tell, if you have earnest filmmakers at good writing, and you have a long list of successes behind you, you can afford to take a risk on a show like Gollum. Like in the right hands, in the right kind of environment, a show like this a movie could be good, but not in this environment, not with the current track record, not with the loss of faith that we've seen. Oh, he has no link.
Yeah, I just sent someone. Check your Twitter.
Yo, check the tweets, boy.
Yeah.
Boy.
Get in here.
Like, yeah, so in the right environment, that like you could do that and it could be good. It was like when Disney made the movie Maleficent. It was one of the first live action movies they did because it wasn't really a Sleeping Beauty movie. It was definitely a Maleficent movie,
Yeah.
and they had good faith at the time, and so
Real
people
quick.
went to see it, and it was not terrible.
We have
Yo,
our
Chatsu.
guest, Dio.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey.
What up?
Welcome to the stream. The big Jupiter Ascending fan, as we've heard, so we had to have you on.
Dude,
Juniper-
I know I'm probably supposed to hate that movie, but I just watched it for the first time. I enjoyed it, dude. It was not as
Yeah.
bad as I remember everybody saying it was.
It wasn't boring.
It wasn't
That's for
as
sure.
bad as everybody says it was. It's because it's the Wachowski brothers.
Right.
And they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
expecting great things, and they got something that it had the bones of greatness, but it never achieved it.
no,
It never
and-
fulfilled that
No,
purpose.
no.
and I'll tell you,
So let's talk about it. Yeah.
it felt like like a teen, you know, like one of those tween book movie things, and I sort of am a sucker for some of that stuff. So I actually enjoyed the rollerblading dude. I Eddie Redmayne being hammy as all hell, I actually enjoyed. But
well,
yeah,
it's just so silly. Like it looks cool, kind of. Like I kind of want those like
his
rollerblade
overacting
things,
sometimes worked in moments. It worked, in others it didn't.
for sure,
Well,
I don't know why.
Well, he gets wings at the end, and it's like, why do you need wings when he got boots?
Okay, I was waiting to ask you guys because I thought maybe it slipped. You know, we got the babies running around and stuff. I was like, why does the wolf dude have wings now? I'm okay with it. But why does he have? Was there a reason? I might have missed it.
So this was supposed
because
to be a
it's the most
topic of
advanced implants, like genetic implants that they had.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, so this was supposed to be like a topic on a previous thing where I'm like, I don't know if you can consider it a good idea, but you're supposed to have like idea filters where people, especially famous people, when they're creating stuff, they just have way too many ideas,
right.
and they just
That's
throw it in
George,
all in.
That's
and
George Lucas. Yeah.
George Lucas is one. Like, you know what I was really thinking about with this movie? Rebel Moon. Like, it really had like
You mean
Rebel
Rebel
Moon.
Moon?
Big time.
yeah, Rebel.
Rebel
yeah.
Moon. This is like
Yeah.
right out of the Rebel Moon universe, straight up.
Yeah.
Straight.
Hey,
up.
do we have a summary of Jupiter Ascending? I forgot to grab that.
We don't need I rewatched that festering piece. I mean, I rewatched that film.
for the
That
people
respectable
watching.
film.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Well, we can assume that people know it. I mean, it's a really, really popular.
Mila Kunis
really?
is born to an American and a Russian. Daddy dies when he's young due to a misunderstanding. She grows up as a poor middle lower class working
Wait,
class in New York.
misunderstanding. He had to save his telescope.
Like I said, it
He's
was
like, no, take the telescope.
I read the police report. It said it was a misunderstanding. He reached for a large metal object.
Yeah. He leaves his kid fatherless so he can try to save his precious telescope.
That's hilarious.
They weren't going to ruin it anyway. Oh
man.
anyway, she is
What?
she is a naturally occurring what do you call it? Reincarnation
Yeah.
of the head of this major household of humanity in this
Yeah.
very famous, like very wealthy family that has been alive for thousands upon tens of thousands of years, basically.
Mhm.
And so she suddenly is in the middle of this like kind of big Game of Thrones, game of wealth, so to say, within the house with all of her children, even though they are much, much older than her at this point. And so she
Right.
is a target of manipulation and of assassination. And even the people who are helping her at first, which would be Wolfie Channing Tatum, every furry's wet dream.
Dog boy.
Big old dog boy.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll say this. I thought his everything about his character for me worked in this movie.
Mhm.
What?
Except for one thing. Except for one thing.
What?
Her being really, really into him right off the bat. Like the romance did not feel
It's
very
weird.
organic.
First off, the blonde hair. Did you guys notice that the gun barked? Tell me
No.
you noticed that.
I did.
I
No, I didn't
Listen
notice.
back to his gun when
I
it
did-
shoots.
I
It goes.
did.
"Or."
I did notice
Um,
that. It made me laugh. So
So so he's a dog species, right? Like how much is his dog powers used? It's used right in the beginning when he's God knows on what planet. So I don't know how his nose led him to there in the first place, but I don't know. Like him being a dog essentially made nothing in the story. Just justified him biting his superior or royal's neck off, and they didn't kill him.
he had weird ears. It was a thing, man.
Yeah,
I don't
he had
know.
elf ears.
I think my point is I don't always like Channing Tatum in like he doesn't work in every role. I thought he worked in this role. I wasn't disappointed in his performance.
I
of
agree
this
with
role.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Love story was so.
He was
forced.
trying.
What year did this come out? Because I feel like if it came out during the boom of like the young adult movie novel, you know,
It came out around the same time.
Did it? It might have
Yeah.
been.
You
just
got to
after the
think so.
game.
Like historically, like the Wachowskis were like kings of sci-fi at that point because they came off of the Matrix.
Mhm.
There was something
didn't-
else.
That they were involved with and they basically directed, but don't get the credit for. What was it? Christ,
Yeah,
it's one
right.
of my favorite movies. Why I'm so pissed.
There's a couple of
Remember,
big sci-fi
remember
movies.
the 5th of November.
Oh, really?
V for Vendetta.
Yeah,
V
V
for
for
Vendetta.
Vendetta. One of my favorite films, one of my favorite comic books. And they basically they don't get credit for it, but they produced and basically directed that film.
It's a good one.
It's a very good
adaptation.
movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they did some things better in the movie than they did in the original graphic novel. But we're not here to talk about that particular film today.
We're here to talk about a much better movie.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, Matrix wasn't the only
Ascending.
one.
Someday we'll talk
They
about
had
that one.
they had a couple like sci-fi thing, like big sci-fi stuff on the record. So it was like literally everybody thought that like anything that the Wachowskis produced was gold. So when they based, and I think this is part of the problem, they gave them like complete full reins.
2015, that's when it came out.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
to
Okay.
do Jupiter Ascending, and so basically that's why this is an amalgamation of like all the ideas they had. Like, I mean, even just the perfect example is Channing Tatum's character. They're like, okay, so we're gonna make him a super soldier. We're gonna make him like half dog. We're gonna give him elf ears, and also he's gonna have
Forgot about
wings that are cut off and jet boots. Like anything else,
Rollerblade.
shield.
The way the grav boots work was pretty neat.
It doesn't really make sense, but it was neat.
It was sci-fi bullshit, but it was better than just like, oh, they just work always for no reason.
Yeah,
I mean, at least there was something offered. Sometimes they don't, but
it's just too
Yeah.
funny watching him like ice
Skate.
skate around like everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh man.
so like there are veins of this in my favorite series of all time, Red Rising. Like very, very small parts, like the majesty of it, the idea of this like galaxy spanning kind of family of like how people are different and genetically modified. Like there are echoes of that in a lot of my
Humans
favorite
being the
fiction.
original, I like that, like the original race in the galaxy, and that they
Yeah.
kind of are spread out. But
Stuff.
also like the human harvesting, like they just took that from their previous better movie, Matrix. Like
Soylent Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a new idea, but it wasn't as well executed here as it could have been.
Donner Party did it better.
Oh, those poor kids. Anyway.
Yeah,
let's real
Oh my
quick. Let me see if
God,
I can
dude.
pull it
Oh.
real quick. I am going to. No, it's not. No, share screen.
I thought you said real quick.
I am. It is quick.
Oh yeah, super quick, super.
All right,
So-
you guys can see that.
So fast. I can see
Yep.
it, yeah.
Best.
Oh,
scene
he
of
does
the-
scream a lot.
And I destroy.
What is that? Oh, come on. Whatever. Okay. It's supposed to be like, I will create and I destroy.
Oh yeah, dude. I just
Well,
watched
you
the
know.
rest of the day, and that scene had me cracking up, man.
Yeah.
Dude, what
It's just,
what some
the
scenes
entire
work
movie.
what-
He's
some,
an award winner too.
Yeah, it's
some
crazy.
scenes work really, really well, and others are almost feel like a completely different film.
Mhm.
I agree.
It, Like there's an incongruity between scenes that is maybe the biggest downfall of this movie, honestly.
Mila Kunis plays like the most gullible character ever in this.
Yeah, it's
Anytime
weird,
anyone
dude.
asks her to do anything, she's like,
What the hell?
okay. Oh, you want me to marry you?
I get.
my
I kind of don't want to. This is kind of weird, but I don't. Sure, I don't know.
You're an
It's just-
intergalactic like alien thing.
Maybe we're the
Okay.
Alabama of space. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
It's just how procedures work. Don't worry about it. Like,
But
it's-
why do I get the
Just-
feeling she's kind of
He's
like that in real
pulling
life?
out a pistol. Just sign this right here. Yeah, right there. Yes.
Why do I get the feeling that's just kind of like how she is?
The actress,
Yeah. She's just
because she
probably
played Jackie in the '70s show.
like- Yeah,
That was
yeah,
her-
that's probably why.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean,
A little bit
she's
younger.
never really played like a character. She doesn't usually play characters of tremendous intelligence. This
I
is
am
not
a Mila
speaking to
Kunis fan,
her
though.
at all. I know I am too. That's the thing. Like I'm not like, but her like people have trends in what they choose for roles. You most of the
Right.
time, and then you have people like Jason Statham who just play themselves
Same-
always
yeah,
for all
same
time.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Mila Kunis has range. She plays Meg in Family Guy.
That's true, but she's just still kind of talking like Mila Kunis.
Oh,
just
yeah,
saying
yeah.
self-deprecating.
It's just her. A little bit hammed up. That's all. That's all. Meg is.
Yeah. It's
Well,
great.
how about
I
that?
watched
Like,
the.
yeah. I was gonna say.
I was gonna say
let's
I
talk-
watched the. I swear to God, you don't know. No, I was watching the honest trailer of Jupiter Ascending, and it's like when she puts on the dress and she's like in the spaceship for like one of the first times, and she's just like, I don't know if this dress is like me. It's like, lady, you're in a spaceship with random aliens. What's going on? The tone.
There's a guy with a trunk on his face. What are you talking about?
I was thinking about that today because I just saw the rest of it today, and like some of the designs were cool in that movie, but then some of them were just like that one. The elephant dude was just haphazardly put together. But there was some cool designs of some of the characters. You know what I mean?
There's some cool designs that were like
some of the costumes and some of the sets were really fantastic too.
The effects held up really well considering what's being put out nowadays and how long ago that came out. It looked pretty good, man. I mean, well,
that spaceship breaking through all the asteroids,
going through.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Going through the storms of Jupiter, that was pretty cool.
That was cool.
That is one thing I do have to say, and that was the point I was going to make earlier. Is it really seemed like the movie was just I don't know how to like explain it, but like it was like you're watching garbage, but it looked so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was good ideas here and there.
Yeah.
They're just mashed together.
There are some good ideas, some bad ideas, some good executions, some bad. Like it was such a mixed bag.
That's why I related to Rebel Moon. You know, like is a cyber half cyborg ninja lady fighting a spider lady. Like, cool, yeah, it's cool, but what does it have to do with the rest of the movie?
yeah, you got to establish that lore. You know,
yeah,
for sure.
Also, all the action scenes. Channing Tatum basically soloed everything against every amount of army there was.
This is what I was going to say. What about okay, so let's talk about how 1 second they're like fighting and the next second they have Channing Tatum take his shirt off, which okay, cool. He's like taking a shower or whatever. But then he like never puts it back on for the rest of the movie. It's like, dude,
I'm contractually obligated.
You guys are in a Walmart right now, and you're not wearing a shirt. I don't understand what's going on in the scene.
Well,
you know
that checks out.
After he had the tampon thrown on his chest to absorb the blood.
Also, I kind of wish they never went back to Earth because space still like each of her children had their own empire, so to say, and each one felt very unique to each of the children. And like the vibe of each, the design of each, the way they all interact. Like I would have wanted a whole movie of just that stuff, just like House Politics. That would have been a much better movie. Like going back to Earth, it felt so mundane after the majesty of some of the other scenes in the film.
Maybe this is one of those examples where a TV show would have done it better, and then like really slowing it down, just like chill the fuck out, you know.
And even
we'll still explain all of it or whatever.
Even the execution of it, like just like the funniness of like going back to the family, you know, the attempted humor of going back to the family, and it felt like a CW show. You know what I mean? It felt like a real like you know, which it could have, like you said, it could have done better. You know,
no, because even because in a CW show, I at least for a moment might care about those characters. I cared nothing for this family.
No, totally. But maybe being on that show to give it, you know, like AC was saying, give it that breathing room to actually care about the family, build it up, you know, give it a couple of episodes at home where she's, you know, trying to figure out what the hell's going on before we just get shot up into space. And
dude,
but did you guys hate it?
I didn't.
I did not hate. I did not hate.
I think it's. Right? Yeah. I think it's bad, but it is a fun movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's just some of the things that happen are just too funny. I mean, come on, like her life isn't even that bad in the beginning. She acts like it is.
I know, dude. And she's acting like it's the worst shit ever. I'm like, what is wrong with your life?
Am I the only one who thought she might break out into song about like her I Want song from her Disney movie?
Yeah.
How about Sean Bean actually survive? I was waiting.
I know. I was gonna say he didn't die. It's the only time.
The curse.
No, he survives bad movies.
Is that really what it is?
Oh, he only dies in good shit. I get it.
It's like I was watching Game of Thrones for the first time. I'm like, this is really good. Oh, Sean Bean's toast, dude. There's no way.
That's the second thought. Yeah, that's the second thought.
Like, Gun Fu movie. Yeah.
Like, this is really good. Oh, there's Sean Bean. Oh, he's toast.
Oh, yeah. Equilibrium, right?
Yeah, Equilibrium. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only watched that like a few years ago for the first time. I'm like, this is
Same here,
awesome.
dude.
This is
Oh,
so
what?
cool.
My buddy turned me on to it. He was like, "Dude, you got to see this movie." I watched it years ago before The Matrix. I think it came out before The Matrix. And,
Yeah, I think
and
it's
he
the
loved
same
it.
time.
Matrix was like what,
Yeah.
98, 99?
No, right after. It was trying to
That was-
capture the Matrix.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. And he was like, "It's pretty good." Yeah, it was cool, man. I enjoyed it. It slipped under the radar.
They have a kung fu system based off of like guns. So they're like, you know,
I know
Uh,
gun fu.
essentially. And then and they take pills to suppress their emotions. It's actually like pretty cool sci-fi and stuff. But back on topic. Do you guys want to watch like the last part of the Honest trailer for this? Because it's for this movie. They can, you know how they always do a spoof when they describe it. In this one, they just describe the movie.
That might be best for
Like,
that might be
you know, that
best
was
for
the
the
joke on
listeners
top.
at home.
Yeah, no, I never saw that one, so yeah, I'd like to see it. Yeah,
All right.
play it, boy.
Let me-
Also, is your name really Dio? That's a great name.
It is, yeah. It's Dionysius.
That's
Oh, that's a
awesome.
sick name, dude. I love that name.
Thanks, brother.
Like Dionysus or Dionysius?
Dionysius, and then Dionysus is the god that I'm named after.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna
so
say
I
it's
figured.
very
Which
close.
god?
It's not.
The Greek god Dionysus, yeah, the god of wine and partying
Yep.
and revelry.
Oh, is
Pleasure,
is that
Basedness.
Bacchus is the Roman version?
Yeah,
Yes.
isn't always like he's like depicted holding grapes and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some cotton candy grapes in the fridge.
Hell.
They're good.
Oh, dude,
Those are the
I've had
best.
those. They're delicious. I love
Dude,
them.
insane.
All right.
Literal candy. Anyway.
For real.
So ridiculous. We're just going to tell you what happens. This is actually the story. Meet Jupiter, the child of an astronomer who's murdered while trying to defend his household telescope. Jupiter's world will change when, on the way to donate her eggs for money to buy a telescope of her own, intergalactic bounty hunters attack her on behalf of
I forgot about the whole selling the egg thing.
That her
I know,
cousin
it's
had
not-
forced her into and was
How is
going to
she
get
not-
a bunch of money for.
How is she gonna like how does she even know about the telescope? Right? Like she wasn't even born yet. And yeah, I don't
She
know.
heard
That's-
she heard stories, and then the cops also broke it during the raid. So,
funny.
oh,
the Abrasic siblings, an ancient family of business moguls who killed the dinosaurs.
Also, I wanted to say
canonically true.
the dinosaur race could have been cool. Maybe less wings. They had to throw wings on everything. What was I going to say?
What do you got
Damn
against
it.
wings, man?
Oh, she's the worst mother ever. like all of her kids are just demons.
yeah,
know what I
they've been
mean?
alive for thousands of years, like feeding their weird ideologies and vices. Of course, they're
Yep.
weird. Yeah,
Why was Earth so special to her?
because it was rich,
Like, Yeah. Oh, well,
supported a lot of human life.
no
we-
other planet was.
We
Yeah.
do a lot. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
That's a good reason
I feel
for
like that
any
stuff needs to be
alien to spy.
backfilled, man. What was that, AC?
Oh, that's a good enough reason for any alien to spy on us. Just the sheer amount of that's going on. Like
Yeah.
said.
Well, that's the thing. They haven't harvested Earth yet because I'm assuming it wasn't ready for harvest. Like it wasn't.
They do be fucking. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Your people kill the dinosaurs.
They seed planets with human beings, then kill
Oh, that chariot thing was like a cool design, but like had a real person up like on it. I don't know. The design was cool, but I'm like, wow, that sucks. Like somebody just stuck you into a chariot. You know what I'm talking about?
Is that in the cornfield section?
No, it's this thing right here. You can't see it, but there's a person like on it.
planets with human beings, then kill and harvest them to create Regenex, a serum of eternal life. Jupiter, it turns out, is an exact genetic copy of the Abrasic's dead mother Seraphi, which makes her the rightful owner of the entire planet Earth, and a pawn in the Abrasic sibling rivalry. The first person to reach Jupiter, however, is Kane Wise, a half-albino man-wolf hybrid who's also a hoverboard expert. Jupiter, who can control
The bees, man.
I'm so
Dude.
stuck between thinking
She
it's cool and thinking it's really fucking stupid, dude.
It's really
Dude, that's
stupid,
exactly
dude.
it, Karuna. That's
You
exactly
can't hate it though.
I think if the movie was good, we would be like, this is pretty cool. But since the movie shit, I'm like, this is kind of fucking dumb.
So true.
Cole Bees, due to their ability to recognize royalty, finds herself falling for her protector Kane. But since a disgraced man wolf
Someone paid
Splice
$170 million for this.
there was zero build up for their like actual love interest. There was just like,
She
oh,
was just
you're
like,
like
oh, you're hot.
you're a hot dog person. Yeah,
I feel like people were like, people just were like, oh,
She brings out the
it's
she brings out the
Wachowskis.
fursuit.
They're just like, it's the Wachowskis, Mila Kunis, Channing Tatum. What else do you want? It's gonna sell. And I mean, did it lose money? It should have, but did it?
It did, yeah.
Okay.
it lost money. Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
it made like 100 because I looked it up. I think it's like it made like 150 million or 170 million on a 210 total budget, I think, or something
Yup.
like
Oh
that.
boy. Oh boy.
yeah, it was just like stupid expensive for the time.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
It does. Yeah, dude. They really did a good
They-
job.
they-
Yeah, I know, right?
They really thought this one was gonna like be everything because they again like they just looked at the Wachowskis like record and they're like everything they produce is success, and because they're Hollywood like bigwigs, they're just like fucking brain dead. They can't.
They're like, fuck it.
Yeah,
I
they're just
like that's kind of true,
Yeah,
Bad
makes
Sauce. But like, do you remember how many people were pissed off with the second and third Matrix movies? I was not one of them, but a lot of people were pissed off with those movies.
Yeah, I guess I gotta rewatch those. I mean,
Rewatching
I
them,
don't
I
know
don't
why they
blame
were so
them.
pissed.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are. Oh, there's a good reason. There's a good
Sorry, I was
reason.
just putting on the best shirt of all time.
Got tired of being naked.
I must ask you a question.
is no suitable match for reincarnation of Abraxas royalty. They can't be together.
I have more in common with the dog than I have with you.
I love dogs. I've always loved dogs.
Oh my
I
god.
remember that.
Hey,
This is
Hey,
the
guys.
issue. Guys,
Comic
this is the
Skate.
issue.
Comiskate, what's up? All right. No. You know.
He looks over.
Dude, that's a great example of like what's wrong with this movie. It's like it's hard to describe, but it's like there you go. That kind of summarizes it.
It really.
Just that exchange.
Well, they
Don't love
couldn't.
it,
They couldn't stick with a consistent tone, like because then you'd have this scene, then you'd have like a super serious scene of Eddie Redmayne losing his shit at a fake lizard.
Dude, the Dragonborn were sweet. I have to say, okay, I really liked the lizard people.
I did.
I did.
I actually like their wings too. I know.
Yeah.
I know you guys didn't, but they're sort of gargoyle-y, and I thought they were done really
Yeah.
well, man. Really
I
good.
agree. The only
I
thing
thi-
that they
I think
needed
Joe
was
has
better
never
clothing.
drank a Red Bull. He hates wings, man. I don't know what I don't know what to
I
say.
think I think the Dragonborn, if they had like armor instead of like actual clothing, I thought the clothing was super lame on them. And this is me just knocking the character design, not necessarily the movie itself. So
Mhm.
I don't know, take that for what it's worth. But like, yeah, if they would have just had like some really cool like sci-fi armor, oh, that'd have been sweet.
Well, yeah, it would have served the purpose of them like being warriors and enforcers as
Yeah,
well. It could have
Yeah,
been good.
yeah.
Could have been good.
But then just like normal clothes or whatever. Okay, that's kind of weird, but they still look cool.
There's a lot of weird clothes. Let's talk about bounty hunters in the beginning. Like what?
the
what was
bounty
all
hunter
that?
designs
The
were
character design.
they
Yeah.
they certainly were designs. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were. They were
just-
some
No,
of the-
I don't know.
They were some of the designs of all time. Yeah.
There was so much back and forth betrayal between all the characters. It was just like it was too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
And at no point nobody had an
I didn't
army.
mind the back and forth betrayal, but but the tone again was so inconsistent. Like
Yeah.
there were scenes that I didn't know whether to laugh or think it was good. Like it was very conflicted emotions about this.
Yeah.
Jupiter is tricked into accepting a marriage proposal from Titus Abraxas, who claims he will keep the universe safe. Kane and his old comrade Stinger, a fellow ex-space cop who is also Part B, rescue Jupiter just before the ceremony is complete, saving her from marrying.
Wait, pause.
What?
He was Part B?
I was gonna say I forgot about that point.
That's
Did
weird.
did they actually say that, or are they pulling us
I
out of
think
their
it
ass?
was-
I don't remember that actually being said.
I guess that makes sense with all the honeycombs in the house now.
Yup.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's insinuated maybe.
Being
What
World
the
about-
building. Hey, that's attention to detail.
At least
World
with
building, right?
at least with Kane, there like he seems different than a person. Sean
It's
Bean
visual.
was just Sean Bean. What made him
Yeah.
a B?
there was nothing different about
Visual
it.
storytelling.
There was nothing
What
different about
advantages?
What
What advantages do you get from being a bee? Half bee.
he has a stinger in his ass. I don't know.
Only use it once.
Yeah, Venom. That's the only thing I can.
Yeah, but then
think
Sean Bean would die.
Yeah.
of. They
I'm
should have
so
killed him. That would have been
confused.
canonical to Sean Bean's legacy. You know.
I know.
Might have made the movie good.
Imagine that's a deleted scene. He stings
Probably.
somebody and he dies.
He's like,
I'm a bee.
they show backstage. Can I please just live in this piece of shit? Please, just one
I
movie.
just want to live.
Yo, now that I'm thinking about it, I would 100% believe that was written in there. And that was like the one thing that was pulled. They're like, too much, dude.
Play it. I'm looking it up because this is pissing me off.
Yeah.
Who's not just thousands of years older than her, but is also technically her son and plans to murder her. And that's just the beginning of Jupiter's problems, as back on Earth, her mom, boss, and co-workers are captured by Belem Abrasik's dinosaur henchman, Mr. Gregan. Shortly thereafter, Kane and Stinger must launch another nearly identical rescue mission, saving the person Jupiter on the planet Jupiter, destroying the Regenix factory, and
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, all the action scenes were just, that was one thing. Like, they were just kind of a mess. Like, it was just really fast and
Chaos.
I
all over the place, chaotic.
I liked a lot of them actually. Not all of them, but I liked a lot of them.
I like the one in the alleyway when he was fighting the first time he meets the bounty hunters, and I actually like the doctor's office where he's fighting the little gray aliens. When she's giving her, she's getting
That was
her
a crazy
eggs
scene.
I can't, I'm distracted by the
The skiing. I think Bat-Sauce just doesn't like things that shouldn't fly. I think that's your problem.
No, I think the spaceship fight, like right after that was like really hectic.
Mhm.
It was just like the camera's going all over the place and you
There's
can't
a
really
lot
follow
going
it.
on, yeah.
There's also
Yeah.
no like distinctual difference between the ships, so you don't like, it's really kind of hard to tell too.
How the hell do I even look this up? Jupiter
I don't know.
sending
I don't think
Sean
it's a
Bean B question mark?
thing.
Yeah. Or like maybe
Kill.
find Sean Bean's character name and then like ask if that character is part B.
It would never look. I think we would know if that was something that actually happened.
They would clearly convey it in the character, right? They would
Yeah.
surely
Visual storytelling.
they would do more than just put a beehive in somebody's house to convey that they are part B.
His eyes were yellow for a second.
Yeah,
That-
it's eyes.
yes.
Yeah.
hold the fuck. His name is Stinger. I didn't think about it.
Oh wow.
That's funny.
We are
dude.
dumb as F,
Yeah.
bro.
Wow.
His
It's
name-
just so stupid.
Also, what is
Dio,
this
Dio.
metric? He is half man, half bee. Where is the half?
Yeah.
Pardon the fuck.
Oh man. It's like 1% B. But Dio, what were you gonna say about the gray alien scene?
Oh, I was saying I actually enjoyed that little fight scene when she's getting getting her eggs taken out, and he comes in and he does this little skate, his rollerblading thing onto the. I thought
Yeah.
that was actually sort of shot sort of cool, but
Yeah.
they looked cool. They didn't really touch on them anymore though, did they?
No, they didn't. It
No,
was
the
just
gray
like,
aliens,
and there's
yeah.
gray aliens. Let's go.
I like the gray
They do
aliens.
kind of show and not tell. Like they're kind of infiltrators and they can fight, but that's not their specialty, kind of thing. And
Wait, what happened when they went to go abduct? They went to abduct the wrong lady, the blonde, the rich lady that she was cleaning the toilets for, and then they like rush at her when she's in the closet, and then she like wakes up like 5 minutes later, and they're gone. I'm like, why didn't they just abduct her right there?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I don't know what
Like-
happened there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Belem, safely back in Chicago. Kane, who has angel wings now, by the way, is free to hover skate with the new queen of the earth, who, after all is said and done, uses her knowledge of the universe and royal power to clean toilets again, completely ignoring the other two Abrasic siblings, who are still very much running a planetary Holocaust business. The end.
yep.
And that's really just the basics.
Yeah, dude, that's
Oh
it.
yeah, I forgot about.
Oh,
Maxi-
no.
Oh,
Just
crap.
goes on.
No.
Again,
It's
like,
like-
again, that kind of thing is the kind of thing you could ignore and like we wouldn't give a shit about, except that the movie is not very good. That's kind of like I
It's just the
think
most-
this movie is a quintessential missed like you missed the mark pretty bad.
It's just very fanficky too. Just everything about it. I mean, Channing
It's-
Tatum's like the quintessential like higher like fanfic character. I don't know. You know,
It's
Yeah.
no
He's a bad boy.
they took an intergalactic Game of Thrones, combined it with Maximum Ride, and created a I'm not one of those girl. I'm not like other girls protagonist. That's what
For
this movie
real.
is.
Yeah, dude.
All right, and we're at the end. So,
Gotta ask the question.
sink? Does it sink or does it float? I'm saying it sinks.
It sinks.
It's a stinker.
It,
I didn't hate it, but
it had some cool scenes and a lot and some great ideas, and it misses the mark too
All
hard.
right. Well, sadly. You're here. Hopefully that doesn't get. I don't know if that's going to get stayed now, but whatever.
With a kazoo, I hope not.
Yeah. Right. All right. Well, either way, it was a fun movie. Like I said, we'll talk about Lord of the Rings at the very end, but let's get into some storytelling topics. I think we kind of had like a little bit of debate like the past couple days about
Storytelling
the usage or just things about gray morality. Something that I hear like a lot about in let me take this down. It's something I hear about in the Iron Age too, that a lot of people try to point that that's what's like we can fix things if we stop using gray morality. And for me, I'm like, okay, gray morality, like villains especially, used maybe too much. But like
I think it's become the industry standard. I think that's the problem.
That is a problem, right? But and it's like anything, it's a tool, like I guess for storytelling, and it's not bad, it's not good. It just depends how the tool is used.
And we should define gray morality too, so that like
because
even
you
like
can have
the
gray
listeners-
morality without being grimdark, and that's a pretty strong, important distinction to make.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So first like example that comes off my head is what's his name? The Titan, Marvel Thanos. I mean,
It's pretty gray.
yeah. I mean, he's gray, right? Like he what he's doing makes sense. It's a good cause.
I think gray morality comes about when your intentions do not line up with the reality of your actions. I think that's what gray morality is.
Morals. Yeah.
So no, and that I disagree, but I think that's where people are mistaken, because I think what happens is you have a lot of these movies that come out and they say it's like a gray morality, like this character. It's actually okay that he's mass murdering people because he was bullied because of his like skin color or something like that.
Right.
And they try to like say that's gray morality, but it's like, no, that is flat out bad, like evil morality.
Yeah, framing it that way.
Yeah, no,
is
he's a damaged human being with understandable like reason, like motivations, but he's still an evil piece of shit.
That's how it should be framed too, Kahuna, because like to frame it like it's okay because of this reason is dangerous, but like if you explain it like it's not, it has nothing to do with his morality, his actions are evil, and it's more like he's damaged, and this is still bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this
Once
whole
you go
situation.
bad, you never go back, mother trucker.
Yes. Yes.
And I think like for me, gray morality is when it's like a war that is inevitable. Like the sides have to fight. Neither of them are evil in doing so. Like one side is
You will fight
protecting
good
themselves.
and bad men on both sides, and
Wars
and the
war
war
movies are
your
good.
Control.
War movies are really good for gray morality. You're right, 100% bad sauce. That's like on the nose right there.
It's like, do you hate the man in front of you? Not necessarily. Some people do, but you don't have to. And most of the time, they're just going to be some working stiff like you who's been conscripted into this conflict for reasons that are very, very much either beneath you or beyond you, or possibly quite above you. And
So it's more like indifferent. It's more like uncaring, right? That would be
No. I mean, so like I guess it's. I wouldn't use the examples of what's it called, like the soldiers in an overall war, because then you could look at the morality of the overall war. I would say like resource fighting, right? Like one place has a resource and they need all of that resource, but another kingdom needs that resource because if they don't get it, they're going to die. So now they have to fight over resources, or else one of them dies. Are any of them evil in that situation?
Right.
They're forced to fight, right?
Yeah.
At
You're
that
fighting over
point, it
the-
comes down to choices made in the execution of
The
your
story.
plans and stories and the individual characters within. But yeah, because you
There's
can
nuance.
have you can like there's like Game of Thrones is great about at this particular aspect of storytelling, and that is, can a good man also be a good king? It's a harder
Yeah.
question to answer than it on the surface appears, and that series, along with quite a few other ones, and go about exploring that pretty thoroughly. It's an interesting question to contemplate.
You're right. It's because Gurm is obsessed with
Gurm?
Aragorn. Yeah, Aragorn's tax.
Or-
He's obsessed with Aragorn's tax regiment. So
Yeah,
he,
that's
uh,
true,
he,
that's true.
he wrote an entire book about what kind of king Aragorn would be. Which Aragorn's a good guy, right? So the entire thing is an examination of morality and difficult choices.
Well, it's like
Details.
Tywin is an evil tyrant, but he's a very effective ruler in some
Very
ways.
effective. And he got his family so much power by doing some ruthless shit that, let's be real, all of us would probably do in a Bethesda game on some playthrough at some point. You would
I
poison
play-
the well to become the king or something, like whatever it is.
Theo, what do you think, man? Well, like, how do you view, like, you're a storyteller yourself? What do you think of gray morality and both its representation in fiction and how you view it yourself?
I mean, I'd have to agree with a lot of you guys. I will say, to AC's point, I usually, when I play video games, I take the high road. I'm always like, I have a hard time being the bad guy in games. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Me too. I can't do it. I've tried.
Yes, it's silly because it's like the one chance I have to do, whatever, and I never do. I always take the high ground. What's that?
Oh, to their credit, I was just going to say, to their credit, they always add, and this actually goes more into kind of what I was saying earlier. Like they always add a super good route for
Mhm.
you to take, like to champion if you really don't want to do that. Like, and they understand that things like cannibalism are actually really fucking. It's like a crime against nature, right? And it even
Right.
says that in the description. Like, if anybody sees you, it's considered a crime against nature. You know.
It's awesome.
So they do have an understanding within this gray, uncaring universe of good and evil.
Mhm.
So that's I actually really like to point
So-
to Fallout as an example of gray.
Yeah, and with Gray and what it does so well, it gets very nuanced and really makes you think and have to question your own moralities, which you really wouldn't get from a non-Gray story. And I think and I think it's difficult to maybe do that right, and I think that's where the Hollywood bigwigs kind of got in their head that equals better because of the nuances.
gray morality equals better characters is what they think, or even worse,
It's not true though.
Or
Which is
even worse, the
yeah.
idea that the characters have to be villains now, and that has to be the thing we're pushing. Like, what a weird idea that Hollywood has in their head about that right now.
Yeah.
What was I just watching? It was something famous, but we're following the bad guys technically.
Oh,
Shit.
you're talking about the DC characters, the Suicide Squad?
No. It was something.
Were they supposed to be good, but an objective observer is like, no, this is.
It's all because it's all
Well,
because
it's
of
like-
that Billie Eilish song.
It's like
bad.
these are the protagonists. These are the
Korra?
protagonists of the story. No.
No, they're
shit.
good characters.
Korra is obviously evil.
I mean, Korra makes some questionable choices, but
I just watched it. I can't remember what it is, but it's like we're following technically the bad guys of the story, but they're the protagonists.
animated live action.
I think it was animated.
show.
I can't remember. It's not worth the podcast.
But
time.
so and where I say it's like objectively great morality is not better story writing because you just have to look at Lord of the Rings. Number one epic
it's
fantasy
very
and
monochrome in that. Yeah,
it is very the bad guys are bad, the good guys are good, and that's a problem with Rings of Power because they're trying to be nuanced and stuff like that, and because they are trying to throw that gray morality and thinking that's going to equal a better story, and it's just not true. Like,
And
I'm sorry,
Lord
you
of the-
can't top Lord of the Rings. Like, why would you
And
try to change their morality?
I will say people also talk about Lord of the Rings like that, and I feel like they're missing a point. I'm like, it's not that there isn't opportunity to be evil. There like a lot of characters face temptation, and some even fall to temptation.
Right.
It is explored, but it's there. It doesn't. It's done in a very brisk fashion. It's not the slow walk to hell. It's a sudden fall. It's a sudden fall into darkness, not a gradual walk.
Well, Sauron,
which is a
right?
storytelling idea, but yeah.
Yeah, let's talk like Sauron, right? He is objectively, he is not a gray moral character. He is evil. Like, no and if or
Evil.
buts. Sorry, rings of power. It's not happening. He's evil. But he wasn't always evil in the Silmarillion. My wife,
there's
she's
rules.
the Lord
Yeah,
Master on Lord of the Rings.
There's literal rules in the Lord of the Rings universe that says he's pure evil. Like, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like maybe he wasn't always, but like the
he's
way
a
evil works.
he's the equivalent of a fallen angel, which
Right.
is like
He's a
and the
Maiar.
wizard. The wizards are non-fallen, obviously, but yeah. So they're the same level of creature. They're just different paths.
Well, evil can only corrupt, and Morgoth is
Yep.
evil. He was like the bad notes of the song of Luvatar when the world was created, or something like that. If I can't remember correctly.
And Seabats brings up a good point. There was nuance. Yeah, no, there was nuance in
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. It was usually a less gradual thing. You were either most of the time you were either good or you were bad. Denethor was bad, understandably bad, and so was Gollum Smeagol. And then Boromir, he was maybe the only truly the closest thing to a morally gray character we got in the whole thing.
Yeah. And they were bad, but you understood why they were bad. I think that's also important just to any characters. You need to understand their motivations. So
Wait, she also says Death Note? No, Death Note, that's not gray morality. That's evil. That's a lot of evil going on there.
That might be an example of flat out evil. I don't know.
Well,
He killed a lot of murderers.
Light Yagami.
That is a little bit gray.
His events are described as killing sprees, and I don't
He
think that
called
sounds very-
himself God.
Yeah.
Evil.
It's evil. It's evil with good intentions. That's what it is.
Well, and there's a lot
Which
of
could be gray.
nuance
Well,
into it, right? I mean,
Could be
like
gray. Yeah. Yeah.
killing murderers is great that he did that, but when you get
potato chip and eat it.
when you get towards the end of the the show, you start to see like he thinks of himself as a god. Is he really doing this stuff to rid
I love
evil,
that
or is he
show.
just playing God?
good.
And that's
So fucking good.
the conclusion you kind of come up with at the end that he's trying to play God.
Dude, the best character is the dude who starts worshiping him. Holy crap!
That just makes you a beta cuck.
I knew it was coming. Oh. No, the best character was his dad. Especially he went out like a
Holy
G despite
shit! Yeah,
everything.
dude.
What a great character. He was
What a
cool.
poor guy, dude. That poor man. He had to deal with so
Yeah.
much shit.
Dio, you
I
ever
know,
watch
and
Death Note?
I think I left off at the part where his dad dies, right when he gets taken,
It's
like a
right towards
hostage.
the end.
That's far enough along. Yeah.
Something, yeah, I think so. I mean, spoiling it's fine. But yeah, I think I just left off because I started it a long time ago, and then just restarted it. Not restarted it, but kept started where I left off, where they go to California. They're trying to. A couple of weeks ago, so
He's
somebody
the crazy girlfriend or something.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's a plane. They diverted the plane. And
It's been a while since I've seen it. I mean,
Yeah.
Death Note is one of those must-see animes, and it's like
Sure.
always on the anime introduction shows. It's excellent.
There
My
is
wife-
there is
was that?
some form of justice done at the end.
My wife
In
said
my
she can't.
opinion, the way it ends is the only way this story should have ended.
Nice.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, this is on the subject of gray
Nice.
morality still, right?
Death Note in the background.
Nice.
You do,
Nice.
I do.
yeah. Do you not? Is that not
No.
Death Note in the
That's
background?
definitely not
No.
Death Note. No.
No. That's my son is learning. He's watching learning shows.
Also,
I that's definitely a Death
Wait,
Note poster. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Right here. Or sorry, right here.
Other side.
right,
Yeah.
Right
yeah.
there. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure Death Note right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you like heard my son's stories. But, yeah.
I let
No.
I let my 2-year-old watch Death Note.
Dude, it's the best. Yeah, especially the part where the
Based.
his girlfriend with the demon eyes just like does anything he wants to like an abusive.
Oh, she's based.
Yeah.
She's functionally like going to be a 300-year-old person by the end of the show too.
Yeah, basically.
Like canonically, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Also,
so is that what
Herman brings up a good point. Ray, the next time someone asks if you're God, you say yes.
Yeah, basically.
yeah. All right. So that's cut it for gray morality. I think we can move on. I think we cut that. We got that subject pretty well. Anyone have anything else to add on to that?
Feeling pretty
well,
gray right now. Yeah, pretty gray.
The ending. The ending is a good point. Along with Death Note plus Breaking Bad.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
I agree.
Breaking Bad. Breaking
Yeah.
Bad has a similar ending as Death Note, essentially. Like
It has the ending it deserves.
yeah,
That's
and that kind of is like what I'm getting at with the gray morality. The quote unquote gray morality, right? Is if you harp on about this uncaring, amoralistic universe that one might have created, then the way it ends just becomes so much more important. And the more important the ending is, the easier it is to fuck up, and the easier it is to offend everybody and like turn everybody off. Of the story.
So we have some other subjects to get into, but I think right now is a good time. Dio, you have a continuation of a story that I've read that I recommend
Tell us.
coming out.
Share your stories.
Yeah. Well, let me get the site up. Yeah, tell us a little bit about this. Like somebody who has never heard of it, what can they expect? What's the story about?
Sure. I mean, I guess the elevator pitch is Supernatural meets T2. It's a story about a group of misfits that are sort of brought together to form a family, and they're on a cross-country road trip in order to find a safe place as the end of the world is happening all around them. It's got monsters, gods, demons, heroes, villains. And it's just essentially it's the reckoning is something that happens to Earth and every other planet amongst all different dimensions at the same time, where it's just like a reset where everything sort of merges together. So the story.
Oh wow, a topical on a structurally important title. Interesting. Oh, I like
yeah. So it's yes. So it's essentially my love story to all the horror movies I grew up with and the sci-fi from the 80s and the 90s.
I'm already getting that vibe looking at the picture.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Yeah, it starts off sort of, I like a little slow, a little bit of a slow burn. But essentially it's my love letter to the stuff I grew up with: werewolves, vampires, monsters, different dimensions, a lot of the role-playing games I played growing up. But yeah, the book it's in its third issue right now. It's trucking along. The third issue has a whole new cast of characters that I'm introducing. And it's a passion project of mine. It's 15 issues long. I'm on my third issue right now coming out. I have the fourth issue drawn. I need to get it lettered and colored, but that one's ready to go. And everything's written. So I'll be working on issue 5 and have been slightly working on issue 5. But yeah, it's just my passion project. Excuse me.
Fantastic, man.
It's been coming out at a good rate. I got that only like a few months ago, I think. Issue 1 and 2, I got it together, and you had the campaign right after I got it, and
exactly.
I think I've seen it around.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of projects, man. But no,
There's so much.
This looks really good.
Yeah, everything gets lost, on Twitter. But yeah, I launched the first issue in November. I launched the first issue in September. Fulfilled in October, November, and then so it's coming out relatively.
That's a good turnaround.
Yeah,
some of these projects, like, don't get me wrong, like some, like I know some people they take longer for whatever reason, but like
Mhm.
2 or 3 years into a camp, I'm like, bro, like people could have children at this, like could have had children in this amount of time.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
holy
You know,
crap.
and it's to each their own. But for me, when I make whenever I launch something, I want to have it at least 90% done, 99% done. And now that I'm actually working digitally, it should be easier to even work a little faster now too. So I don't have to.
Was it hard to transition from traditional to digital?
You know, it's funny. I thought it would be. I had bought my wife an iPad a couple of years ago, and she's a great artist. She does digital, she does traditional stuff, and she does like everything.
Oh,
Just
you should share some of her stuff late, but like before the end of the show. That sounds good.
Yeah, I don't even think I have anything on. She doesn't share her stuff either, which is so funny. She's not on any social media stuff, but I want her to start getting stuff out there because she does great stuff. But no, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, especially on the iPad with Procreate, which is a great program. It comes.
I got Procreate.
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't draw, but I've looked into it. I was going to do a comic with my buddy, but he doesn't have time, and so.
Oh, man, yeah, it's
Thing.
it really feels like drawing. Now I know they have like a certain film you can put over it, which I haven't tried yet, but I've
Paper-like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually a little bit of a bite like paper, but yeah, I've liked it. It's saved me so much trouble because before I would have to draw something, ink it, and now I can just draw and ink while I'm doing it. It just saves me the time.
And if you make a mistake, you can fix it.
Jolsey.
Like I've seen, I have a buddy. He does like the most basic pencils you've ever seen, and then he goes straight into inking and does all his detail that way. I'm like, he's like, yeah. Before I got good, I'd have this piece would look great, because like almost all the good stuff is in the inks, and then he'd mess up a part. He's like,
oh yeah,
that whole damn thing.
And I got to the point where, whiteout was like white ink was my thing. So, I was really afraid of inking for a while there. And I still want to do traditional stuff as well, like some, like original pieces and whatnot. But yeah, like to your point, like it got to the point where if I messed up, I was like, stop worrying about it. You have white ink. Just, you know what I mean? Like just fix it up. But the wife hated when I was using whiteout for a while there. Just because I would scan it in and she's like, dude, this looks chunky. It looks 3D when I'm trying to color it. She's like, you got to fix that. So I got white ink and never looked back. So it's flat and it lays on the paper nicely. But yeah, I love inking on the iPad. It's been great. I've been having a great time with it. Like I
use the tools, man.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I got this up on Fund My Comic. I just put the link on there, and I put Fund My Comic because I think you get the biggest percentage from there. And I also, funny to that side, I believe you're also supporting indie creator as well, the guy who runs Fund My Comic.
And speaking of which, Luke did a great job putting this together, man. Yeah. I mean, like the ease of use to actually put the campaign together is it surpasses all the other campaigns, all the other crowdfunding sites that I've tried to use. It's just really
and Luke is the man too. He's
really
such
for
a cool
sure.
Guy. Yeah.
He did my comic. Fantastic guy to work with.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
nice dude.
Actually, I'll need to talk to you about that later. I was flipping through it the other day. It looks really good, dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
Like you
guys, that's awesome.
Yeah, that came together so nice.
Did you read the third story from Mortal Descent after you read the comic?
I've read all of Mortal Descent.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm really curious to hear what you have to say.
That's awesome.
So yeah, what really attracted me was very like conspiracy theory kind of influence, right? Yeah.
For
so
sure.
I love that kind of like sci-fi like mystery in there, and
for sure.
I think it was like when you were mentioning, I think it was on Royce's stream when you mentioned like interdimensional beings and stuff like that. It started to remind me about my story, and go figure. I like to read what I write, so
yeah, right, exactly. And that's the thing, like I'm putting everything that I grew up loving into this story, just like, that's why as soon as you get your stuff, I'll be eating that up. You know what I mean? It's just in my DNA to love that type of stuff. So it has a little bit of everything for everybody. And it's not one of these things where it has a little bit of everything for everybody, but not done with care. I've thought about this story for a long time because I'm one of those people, I can enjoy dumb stuff for dumb stuff like Jupiter Ascending, but like the stuff I love is stuff that's really thought out and and thinks about different, thinks about what you guys would think reading it,
Based.
There you go.
Yes.
I'm so glad I recorded all of those lines. No, so how do you feel about like Lost Boys? Like, is that an inspiration of yours as well, or is that
Lost Boys is a great movie. Yeah, it's another inspiration.
I love that movie. Man.
Lost Boys is amazing. I love the original Fright Night, American Werewolf in London.
I was gonna say your wolf looks a lot like that werewolf to me.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
it's
great.
And it's funny because with my werewolf, there's so many different werewolf movies that I've loved. That I
Team Jacob.
What's that? Yeah, Team Jacob, dude. I have hot blood. It's one of those things where there's so many different designs of werewolves that my character incorporates all of them because he can go from human to wolfman to the bipedal wolf. So like I'm able to incorporate all the different designs that I've loved growing up, from like the silly.
So different looks represent different stages of the
exactly,
which makes sense because like this is obviously like pretty much full bore werewolf here.
Exactly.
Which is like that's like Van Helsing was certainly a movie, but the werewolf design they had that on point. Werewolf
they really did
on point in that movie.
I felt the same way, man. And actually I enjoy that movie now. When it came out, I think it was one of the few movies I walked out of the theater. I was like, what the.
It's because of the quality of your average movie coming out back then was pretty reasonably high,
right?
Like, compared to most modern dribble, it like that we look back fondly on that kind of movie now.
Well, that and like I think I went into it with a different thought about what it was going to be, which is on me. You know what I mean? It was more of a love letter of a hokey, which I enjoy as well, as a hokey love letter to the old 30s and 40s.
Vampires have rarely been as sexy. Very rarely.
Oh, for sure. The brides in that movie. Yeah.
The brides. That was the best. That was the best. I'll say this. That was the best version of brides I've seen on.
I'm sorry. The automatic crossbow was the coolest thing ever.
Also, bubbling, horny Rabbi Faramir was weird, but it made me laugh, man. I'll be honest.
I think he just came off Lord of the Rings with that too.
I'm like, it's like, where will you ride this train of success? Into Van Helsing. All right.
So here, if you like Van Helsing, you're gonna love this comic.
That's awesome. Yeah. You know what? Probably. A little bit of Van Helsing.
I mean, if anybody loves that movie, they'll probably like this too.
So one of the pros that I mentioned in my review of this that you just don't see in a lot is that it was really easy to follow as far as the dialogue and the scene-to-scene storytelling, which is a really common issue in a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I read a lot of manga, and that is one of the biggest problems is like you just keep going back and forth between the panels.
Funky. Yeah,
and you don't know where the bubble is, and so like that was not an issue in this. So that's a pro. It just So it was a good job on that.
Thank you. That's all credit to my letterer, Davison Manes. Guy killed it. He's a great dude. He does a lot of work. He's doing a lot of stuff for Comixology right now. I guess they're having a lot of original releases.
I've heard his name before.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. He's just a great dude and easy to work with and just understands the craft, which is, for me, when I draw a page, it doesn't come to life even when the colors are on there and all that other stuff. Well, the colors do because Jewel's awesome. She kills stuff. But when
is your wife the one who colors it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I thought it was. I just want to confirm.
It's
almost like a horror pastel. It's a very interesting look.
Right.
I like
she
it
has
a lot. Yeah.
Own little style too, which she was a little bit weary of when she put it together, but I love it. I think it's exactly what I wanted look-wise.
It's like spooky soft. It's hard to describe, but it's very, very cool. I like.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, she nails like the dark scenes in the book, like when it's nighttime. Like real nighttime with like no lights. It's just it has these deep blues and it just looks. For me, I think it looks great. She elevates my stuff, and so does Davison. Like when he puts the letters on the page, to me, that's when it finally looks like a comic. That's when I feel proud of it. You know what I mean?
Also, I'll preface this. I haven't actually read your comic yet, but now I definitely want to. But based on the few things I've heard, you did something smart, which was you were very focused in your first issue, which is a fairly uncommon thing in the indie comic space. I've noticed a lot of people, they have their first issue and they're like, I want to show every idea all the time and in like 124 page issue. I'm like,
Right.
and then you don't have enough time to get attached to anything because it's
Right.
too sporadic. It's jumping around so much you don't even know what to look at anymore.
Right. And and saying that, I definitely like a slow burn. So I hope that my writing for the characters keeps you interested enough too, because that's also a dangerous thing where you're like, okay, you always hear from some people are like, oh, you should have everything happening at once.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Exactly. And in saying that, I hope when I'm not doing that, I hope that the writing actually enthralls you and keeps you interested in the characters from issue to issue, because I'm trying to build these characters up. When things happen to them, and they will, I want you to really care. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to feel like, oh, dude, that sucks, or that's great.
Isn't that the sign of a good, like a decent writer? The best scenes are the action scenes, but a very, very good writer, the dialogue campfire scenes are at least as good as the action, intense action scenes.
Yeah, as exciting as it is to start dumping out all this information about your world and your really cool character and your interesting ideas, you really need to just like put the safety on and holster that thing until you need it, and then just kind of like keep.
Just let me
along.
whip this out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you want to, because that'll make people care about your world more. You know what I mean? Where like every time you whip it out, it's special.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think
said the same thing to my ex-wife.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I feel so stupid. I've seen this image so many times. Like when you post it on Twitter, I just noticed the mirror reflection.
Oh yeah.
I was frankly focused on the feet.
I
can't.
So wait,
maximize
Theo,
it,
you draw those feet, and your wife's like, "That's a sus drawing. We're gonna try it."
I'll be honest. I had a model, so.
That
So,
trucker had never had that request before.
They're my feet. No.
Oh no,
That's kind of gay.
I can't maximize this clip, but this is the this girl, the pinup, this poster, which I guess is sold out. It was grayed out at least. Yep, sold out. This one was a real seller right here. You got this like hot, sexy, vampire lady, and you got the reflection subtly as like a, you can't really see it in this image, but it's like a creepy like vampire ghoul, and it's just like it's like, ooh, horny and scared.
Right.
It's like reading Berserk. No.
She's a vampire character, which I know, to your point, you're like, dude, she better show up in 3. She doesn't, but
oh no. The ultimate tease.
I know. I promise you, I got something else for you. It's gonna be awesome. It's very 1980s slasher. That character with that we passed earlier. He's
the mask. It looked like a combination of Jason and The Strangers. That's what he kind of
for sure. His hood is an old 1930s welding hood. It's like a suede hood. That's why the eyes are glowing. It's because it's reflecting the light. But there's a whole cool backstory.
You're in trouble, buddy.
That's my wife.
That's his wife. Oh, crap.
Yes, that's a good one.
That Joe, go up for a second. I want to ask Dio a question based on the upper image right here. Yeah, pause down. There, halt. It looks like rubble is flying or it's paper or something, but I like that it looks like horns on him. I like that choice.
So
I loved. At first, I was like, "Why does he have?" I'm like, "Oh, that's a paper," but it looks. Oh, I love. I'm down.
So it's funny. That's my cover artist, Ed Herrera. Dude's awesome. He was, I gave him the backstory on this guy, and I told him what's going on with this dude, and sort of where he goes, and he drew those things on there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm taking those off." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Dude, leave those. That's perfect. It's
so good, dude.
Right, dude?" So
he's such a good choice.
And Jewel did a great job coloring like the shadows into it. But yeah, that's rubble that's supposed to look like horns, and he's a different character separate from the hooded guy below, and he's got a cool backstory. I love where this guy goes. But yeah, I love how he did the horn thing, man. Jokingly he did. I'm like, dude, don't get rid of that. I'm like, you got to keep that. That's perfect.
Well, like that's the thing. Like I've commissioned art before, and I have even some stuff like concepts for a comic that have been made already. But it's like some of the artists I've worked with are asking me all these questions, and I'll answer them. I'm like, hey, but you're the artist. You're you're the one with all this visual talent. I'm going to rely on your creative instinct a little bit. I want to see what you make of what I've told you.
Right.
That's what I did with my tattoos.
Like if I wanted that much control, I would just have to learn how to draw, and I'm not there.
Yeah.
So.
And it's sort of the fun part of telling him that stuff, and then to your point, and you get it back. You're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like you just took the words that I gave you and brought it to life in a way that I wouldn't have thought to do.
Yeah, your own muse has turned up something I never had.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
Also, Herman brings up a good point. Joe, do you care to answer these allegations? Why does Bad Sauce have a picture of a guy grabbing his own crotch standing behind him?
He was the best actor ever.
He was in the Army, Herman. He's used to getting boned.
I was in the Marine Corps, which
Not
is
the Navy.
Way gayer than the Army.
It's way gayer. Thank you.
It's
very
like
much.
that is something we
way
take with
worse.
pride.
Always want to be the best. The Marines always want to be the best. I said to myself, "Look at this Marine.
Yeah.
He just wants to be the best at everything." Even
Gay chicken champions.
They get in the Hummer. You hoorah, hoorah! Making my way downtown.
Hey, it's not gay if you're wearing bootstraps.
That's a good point, actually. It isn't gay if you're wearing bootstraps. It's a very good point.
It's
hard to disprove.
I like this black and white. I mean, this is again, the character design is like very unique to this. To all like pretty much all your characters.
I already have a custom piece of vampire black and white concept indie art. I can't get another, but it does look very cool.
Yeah.
Kahuna probably already knows what I'm going to ask. What I'm going to ask concerning vampires, but what route did you go with your vampires? Did you go the virus route, or did you go the curse route, or did you go the demonic route, or force of nature? Maybe
for me.
Yeah.
For your,
so mine has a whole backstory as well. It's not virus. It is an entity unto itself. That is. And this is nothing that really is.
Yeah, you don't have to reveal it if you don't.
No. And to be honest with you, it's not. There's a lot of stuff in the story that I have lore to that will never be explained, just because I feel like, and I'm okay with explaining stuff here. It's essentially it's fed off of an entity off-world entity, like a demon that they all are sort of attached to, but it's not a virus. And a lot of the vampire stuff lore in my story is from taken and absorbed from everything, even Twilight.
Yes,
so to speak.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is it Kirsten Stewart? Is that
yes, it is.
That's the demon. Yeah.
In my vampires, like if you're like an elder vampire and you're out in the moonlight, you sort of sparkle. And the reason being is because the sun is reflecting off the moon, and that's where like a lot of these legends of like fairies and stuff might have come from back in the day, where like a golden figure, but it's actually just them luring people back in the day. But they sparkle not in the sense of how they do in that one story, but it makes sense to me where if you go out in a full moon, it's reflecting the sunlight. So to a certain degree, if you're an elder vampire, you're not going to burst into flames, but you'll look sort of magical. You know what I mean?
Because you're reflecting it as like a defense mechanism from the sunlight.
Well, it's just the skin is just reflecting such sunlight that instead of bursting into absolute flames, it's just it's sort of just like sparkly a little bit.
It's like indirect sun creates weird light.
Yes,
that's universe. That's scientifically true.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. This is, to me, this is like you want good sci-fi mystery, little splash of horror. Like I feel like this is your comic. Also, it doesn't hurt that the drawings are awesome.
Thank
horror.
you.
What did I say?
Oh, okay. A little splash of horror. Interesting.
All right.
Also,
All right.
Herman, bet your ass we're Team Edward. Anyway, moving on.
Back to Jupiter Ascending. No.
Yes.
Well, hopefully, issue 4 we can get Queen Bee in there or something.
He's gonna be playing the vampire princess. Yeah, I think.
Are we gonna get a half bee? character
Yes.
in
I'm going all B. All B with just a little
Sean
bit
B.
of man. It's Sean B.
Sean B.
Sean B. That's what I said in the comments earlier.
Sean B.
I missed it. Sorry.
Holy shit, Sean B.
Sean
Holy
B.
shit. We need a good shot. We need a good shot of
guys.
him with the bees.
We're all pretty sharp in regards to stories and movies and books. We all missed that his name was fucking Stinger.
Yeah.
When you said that, I was like, oh my God.
Wait, what was Mila Kunis's? Oh, Jupiter. Oh my God.
Yeah. Clip that, clip it.
Yeah,
I was like, is there another
I
thing we
recall
missed
it
in there?
being Juniper. Anyway,
I thought it was good.
All right. I think we get into Lord of the Rings news.
Yeah.
Like more Lord of the Rings news.
Actually, Seabats does have one question about your comic first.
Yes.
Cock rings
okay.
of power.
I'll.
Could someone who is a wuss with horror enjoy it? Like, how severe is the horror?
It's not that bad. I know issue 3, it's a little bit violent in one of the scenes, but if you liked, Friday the 13th and stuff like that, it's to that extent. It's not so gory where it's like over the top.
It's not Saw.
Well,
No,
it's
no,
different from a comic medium too, because you don't have music or any like jump scares, But
You don't have Kevin Bacon at a summer camp. It's
No.
completely different.
Getting a great shot through the neck. Yeah, it's a good scene.
Yeah.
yeah.
People forget about that movie.
So we have the Rings of Power trailer that dropped.
I just watched that because of you.
We was rags, yo.
Cock rings
You
of
have to.
power.
Oh man, what like that is one show. Like, you can like the biggest slop movie or show or whatever, but like, man,
How
I
dare they?
you cannot like
touch
Rings of
Lord
Power.
Rings.
I will take personal offense if you know what I mean, because it's like that was so insulting to
First, let's
all of the
address
creators. Yeah.
who here has actually seen it.
I watched the first episode and I stopped when she was playing with the boat.
I love
And-
these.
It was literally the best episode.
Is it really? Okay, because he
Yeah,
says
it just goes downhill.
I saw
Yeah.
a single scene my parents were watching and my sister. That's it.
Well, like so at the end, spoiler alerts. Yeah, like they do the origin story to no Mount. Where's the ring forged?
Mordor.
Mordor.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like okay, things we didn't need the origin story to.
Right.
They do the origin story to Mithril and all this other stuff.
They did the same thing in the
Um,
Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
With his
Right?
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what was it? So there's this giant, massive pyroclastic, however the fuck you say it, flow, right? That
That's
comes
what
from
I
the
said.
volcano, and literally, like it just engulfs all of the characters that are pretty much there. And it's I just came back from Italy, and we went to Herculaneum, which is right next to Pompeii, and like you see what happened, right?
Yeah.
And like the like all these people, like it didn't matter where the fuck they hid in their houses or how big it was, they all fucking died. There was no living through that. It's just kind of crazy that you just have people just standing in that burning ash.
My dad grew up in Washington, like a skipping stone's throw away from Mount St. Helens when that thing went off, and
Dude,
that
that's
was
crazy.
yeah. There's like there are these hills by the freeway every now and again where it's not been developed, like right off the freeway, covered in bushes. Like, oh yeah, that entire thing is ash. So we just had to pick spots where we were dumping like boatloads of ash and truckloads
Crazy.
of ash. Just because,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
It's pretty much like one of the most destructive things in nature is pyroclastic flow.
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
That,
but
hurricane, tsunamis, a few things, some earthquakes.
I don't know, man. You could survive a tsunami by hanging onto a tree.
And then blacking
You know?
out the sky. I mean, also, really,
Yeah.
if it gets big enough.
Crops.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, that's what they say. Like, killed the what is it? Not humans. The old big
Cro-Mags?
humans. What?
The Neanderthals.
Neanderthals?
Neanderthals. Yeah. That was a big part of it. Like, wiped out their food source and stuff.
Well, the Younger Dryas
Michelle
theory
Obama?
also.
Yeah, Younger Dryas theory takes place in my story too, man. There's a lot of that stuff. Yeah,
I love it.
that.
I love it.
Love
But it basically says that an asteroid hit us, but like part of that is effed up the earth so much that a bunch of volcanoes also go off. That's
Mhm.
where you get that explanation lining up around the same time.
And then you also have what is his name? Brian Shock, I think his name is. The guy
Robert Schock.
Robert, is it Robert Shock I'm thinking of?
Robert
Yeah, he's the guy
Schock,
with the beard, right?
Yep.
Egyptologist. Talked about the solar storms that could have created like crazy, massive, like lightning storms everywhere. That like,
Oh yeah.
so yeah,
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
Or
all
or
sorts of-
there's even this other idea.
Speaking
I've heard,
Ace's language.
a crazy. This is a new one I hadn't heard before, and that was that like the north. You know how we have the North Pole and the South Pole. How the
Mhm.
polarity of the Earth was maybe somewhere else at some point, and how
Right.
just
Well, they
those
say it
things
was like
changing.
flipped around,
Yeah, in a different spot, and like if that changed suddenly, that would change everything on the
yeah,
planet.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
nuts.
But-
Actually historically does change, and it has changed suddenly.
Well,
If
Off
that-
topic, guys. Off topic.
Actually, guys, I just googled it in regards to Rings of Power. Mordor apparently they were whistleblowers for Boeing. And,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
I
So-
hadn't thought of that before.
what's people's like lord or extent, like what's your extent of your knowledge? Is it just the first trilogy? Like what do we got here? Like I got a little bit of Silmarillion, but my wife is an expert Silmarillion and everything.
I
so.
made a physical model of Ungoliant sucking the life out of the light trees. So, yeah,
Will
that
thou
was-
consume the whole, or wow, how was the whole world for thy belly?
Yes.
yeah, sure. That's what he said. Yeah.
Wife,
Yeah.
what was the quote? You know the quote.
No, that there are some things I don't know, but I know quite. I'd say I'm in the like upper 5/8, like the upper quarter of like
Okay.
knowledge knowers.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
basic, but I love the extended trilogy. Watched it numerous times. I've read The Hobbit.
Yeah.
But,
The Hobbit is my favorite children's book. Period.
Oh, it's awesome.
I love
Yeah,
that
it
book.
was great. But I the movies, the extended trilogy, I love. That's why seeing the commercial and seeing the first episode of the show, I don't like fanfic stuff. You know what I mean? Especially when you're, when,
That's a great way to describe it.
you
yeah.
know, and they didn't. It just didn't have the same feel of seriousness that the Lord of the Rings did. You know, it just seems like they just did their own. It just seemed they tried to make it too actiony, and I just didn't. I did
Well,
not.
Galadriel
Yeah.
is not herself in the story. The moment that Galadriel runs into disguised Sauron, she
Mhm.
knows the moment she encounters him who he is.
Wow.
The exact moment. Like she
No.
is a capable warrior.
Oh, you're
And-
talking about the sorry.
Yeah, but in the books.
I thought you were
And-
talking about the show. I was like,
But like her one of her greatest attributes is insight and wisdom. Those
Yes.
are some of her defining characteristics.
yeah, she was not very
And
wise in this.
they made her a short fighting warrior woman instead.
Wist thou
Galadriel.
have the whole world for thou belly?
Wouldest thou the whole world for
Yeah,
thy
and-
belly?
Yes.
when she had her pregnancy cramps, I would say that to her all the
That's sick.
time.
That's sick.
At first, she's like, "Oh, that's so funny," and then like 2 months later, she's like, "If you say that one more time."
What is the gorillas video?
It's awesome.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. I need to get a nice collection of Lord of the Rings and such again.
Yeah.
I have the leather bound edition of Fellowship, like a friend of mine did. It's so
Same.
nice, but
All right, well, we had like the smaller leatherbound trilogy, and then I just got Baron Luthiel leatherbound for my wife. So, yeah,
my wife.
my wife, yeah. No, I mean
How
the whole
much?
thing, everything that happened in Rings of Power was just a complete insult to everything that the Tolkien's wrote, and that's why I say there's like definitely the property where you say it's like, oh no, I'm a fan. I'm like, I can't like you.
Oh,
I like this is anti art, you know, and coming.
oh, it's so bad.
I had somebody who said when they talked about the because they didn't have hobbits, they had Harfoots, right? Because Christopher Tolkien or the Tolkien estate literally said like you cannot have hobbits. They were not around in this time. A big part of Lord of the Rings was, and the whole reason that like Frodo can carry the ring and Bilbo can carry the ring is because they're a race of people who just chill. They just like they chill in their fields and they don't
They
do anything.
smoke
So it's like
long bottom leaf and hang
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
yeah, so to have them playing big parts and stuff, and when like the whole point of the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings is that you had these small characters that aren't really like never done anything in history that surprised the whole world and saved it. So yeah, they put
like even
Harfoots
Galadriel mentioned that even the smallest person can change the course of the future.
Exactly.
It's a great quote, and this is out of nowhere. But AC, I think if you were a Lord of the Rings race, I think you would be an Ent. You have great Ent energy.
I would totally be an Ent.
That's why it's so important for them to not have hobbits in the Second Age doing anything of any particular notice.
They shouldn't even exist according to canon.
Yeah, and so like the Harfoots are just like they are hobbits in the books
in the hood,
but,
yo.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with this Silmarillion. Can't even say it.
Yeah. Silmarillion. Yeah.
From what I know, they could have done a good story had they not tried to put everything together. So why? And that goes to our point earlier, talking about like why rush things. Let it breathe. That's one of the reasons why Lord of the Rings is great. They don't.
They could have had the war with Morgoth and the army of Balrogs versus the Maya and all the old kingdoms and the elves.
Well, this is why this is one of the reasons they did it. Two things. A, like the Silmarillion is written exactly kind of how the actual Bible is written, where it's like just stories. It's not it's
poetically written.
Yeah, it's poetic. It's not really the entertaining read in a sense, if that makes sense. So, and the other reason is like brand notability. What do people know from Lord of the Rings? Hobbits. That's why they had to have hobbits in there, right? Which it's just dumb. But yeah,
they could have had a Balrog riding a dragon.
Yeah,
and they chose not to.
Crazy. Because they would have made people care about it had they. I mean, I was excited when I heard that they had a huge budget for it, and they were, because like I said, my knowledge is only from the movies and reading The Hobbit. But I was excited from like some of the lore that I heard about that I thought they were going to go that route. And when I watched the first episode and heard about what was going on, I can't believe they spent that much money on it to make it.
It's like $1 billion.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
CBats, we've read The Fourth Wing as a group. I don't know if it's worse than Rings of Power. I think Rings of Power is more insulting.
She's saying Rings of Power is worse.
I don't.
She didn't hate Fourth Wing.
I know she didn't. I know.
Me and Bad Sauce,
she's a target demographic.
Me and Bad Sauce were talking about this, I think, on a stream, or maybe it was with one of my other guests. But we talked about how to fix Rings of Power, and the best way to do that is to actually abandon it altogether. Go to season 1 of Middle Earth into the east, and what you do is you just follow the 2 blue wizards that went east, and what the fuck happened to them?
Virtually that would nothing known about them. Yeah, that would
require them to have to actually write, though. That's the problem.
Yeah,
is they don't have competent writers, and also it's like, who knows who the blue wizards are? Like,
they could have been gay, and they could have gotten away with it. I'm just saying.
No, please, no.
I'm just saying.
No.
Don't give them ideas.
I'm just saying.
That's kind of gay.
Exactly.
That just makes you a beta cuck.
Like I've mentioned before, Warhammer 40K, those are 2 of the games that Citadel were really famous for when I got into the hobby. But Lord of the Rings was the other, and it wasn't canon technically, but they had histories and stories about all of the ring race and where they came from and things of that nature, including some like men of the East and like how they had this like cult of like wraith worshippers now, like, and all of that was so interesting. And then it's like, it's just not non-canon stuff for the Games Workshop. And then it's like, you could just take that and do that, but no, they had to do what the hell they did, like this fan fiction.
It's crazy.
Well, it's just like the armor. All the armor looked like Power Ranger armor. They're I can't think of a good thing to happen in this.
Yeah.
But also, do you want to watch the trailer or?
Yeah,
I'm down.
Fine, let's do it.
I hate myself, so let's go.
I will commit seppuku when it is over.
All right, I got it on quiet.
Oh, it's shit. Oh, sorry, too early.
Yeah.
See, that's
so starting off with how it ended. It ended with the big reveal that this human guy that everybody knew was Sauron ended up being Sauron, which
and the other guy
Silmarillion.
was of course Gandalf. Anyway, the sound is off, by the way.
Still not confirmed because they legally, I don't think they can have Gandalf in there.
Always follow your
Again.
nose. Oh yeah, I saw my buddy sent me that scene. It's like, I'm good. I'm like, wow, this is real Tolkien.
Oh, it's back.
That's
The
some
worst
good dialogue,
line was the boat. Like, do you know why a boat floats?
That's when I turned it
Because
off.
it looks.
That
That was in the
a
first
line.
episode.
I swear to God, dude.
That's a line.
Well, why boats float and rocks sink? Because the rock looks down and into the darkness, and the boat looks up into the light.
Yes.
Something like that.
I want to tie
that's
her
it.
to a rock and throw her into the sea.
Yeah.
Moving
Dude, I
on.
literally turned it off as soon as he said that stuff. I was like,
It's so gross.
Yeah.
oh.
Ancient and powerful has returned.
So I'm
Do
assuming they're
not
talking about the
give
Balrog.
Sauron a tragic effing backstory.
They will.
Oh no, they had a love story between Galadriel and.
I
and
know. My sister said that was one of the only good things about them. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if we can be related. Sorry.
No.
and we're talking. Oh my god. Yeah, and they're trying to like make it like him. They're trying to make him gray morality. No, but I knew somebody who said with the back to the Harfoot thing. I was just like, I brought that up at this point and how stupid it is. This was like when 4 episodes were out, and he's like, I don't know, I kind of actually like the legalese they did to get that in. I'm like, you like that they said fuck you to Christopher Tolkien?
No.
Like,
Nobody.
not to mention they dropped the trailer when he died. Like literally,
Yup.
he died in the next day, or as an announcement or something.
Yeah.
It's so gross and disgusting.
So remember,
I just-
Gladriel, don't look down or you'll drown. Thank you, Herman. I hope is that a real line?
Basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
I'm
she
gonna-
has to look like, and well, she
I'm
has to
gonna
look at the dark sometimes to know. Yeah, because sometimes the ocean reflects the sun. I don't know. So I don't know what the hell this thing is.
Oh, it's Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, people like that. Let's put that in there, right?
Prepare
Also,
yourselves.
the actress who plays Galadriel is like the worst actress. And I remember before Rings of Power came out, she also played this like maid character in was the Golden Compass show.
Oh yeah.
It's not called the Golden Compass, but I think it's the same thing, right?
Mhm.
And she was in that, and I remember me and my wife watching that, and we're like, it was like unbearable her acting. The rest of the show we were enjoying, but like specifically her, which
The
is
yellowish
unbearable.
the yellow metal compass. Yeah, I remember that show.
Dark materials. Yeah. Although she said dark materials. Weird. Got the N word in her mind. I don't know. We have Asian
Also,
elves
how
now.
is this Elrond?
It's the worst Elrond. And who's Elrond's master too? Glorfindel or something like that?
No,
I'm
I think it's
blanking on his
something
name.
else.
It's something
Glorfindel
with
is
a
another
G.
elf, but it's something else.
Yeah. If I can remember his name, but the guy gets one of the rings. His sensei essentially, like he was a complete fucking badass in the Silmarillion, like one of the most badass characters. And to just do him dirty, make him like a fucking dweeb.
There is a scene in the Silmarillion where they take a ship out of the sea, fly it into space, and come down as fast as a meteorite to kill a dragon. And nope, we're not going to have that in the show.
That's
What
silly.
a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Isn't there werewolves in it too?
What?
Somebody gets killed by a werewolf.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Sauron turns into a werewolf. Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple werewolves, I think, in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Sauron
funny. It's
is-
interesting. We got our
It's good
diversity
enough.
quota here, and it's just like, yeah, but it's just elves. What about like the Fellowship was like actual like diversity,
mention-
different characters. Like these are, I'm assuming, all the same type of personality.
I've
know what I mean?
noticed there's not a tremendous amount of diversity amongst the orcs.
Not to
Not
mention-
much
yeah.
diversity, not at all.
Yeah, too
Yeah.
many goblins, not enough Urukai. No, not to mention there's an entire like there's people of color in Lord of the Rings. Like they always try to act like that there's not, but dude, they just choose never to write about them, and they're
Well,
actually pretty badass too. When you
They
look
are,
into them.
yeah. The
Yeah.
men of the East, they're pretty. Yeah.
dude.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna have strong female warrior, submissive man, submissive
Cuck.
man. Yeah.
That's because you're a beta cuck. What
It's
is this guy-
Juniper.
Yes, the
It's
bees.
Juniper. She's ascended.
It's Sean B.
Sean B.
She's got the bees. She's gonna save the world.
Also, what is this bullshit like fucking dubstep soundtrack we have
No,
going?
no, it's not Lord of the Rings.
Why is this?
Like-
Wait, this feels like a Stranger Things trailer.
Oh,
That's what it is.
Stranger Things is successful. Let's do that. Let's do that. And not to mention, it's just like we're seeing all these like, and you'll see more like magic. And it's like, dude, the most magic we got in Lord of the Rings was like Gandalf having light coming from his staff.
I can't argue. I can't call that a negative because there was more magic in the second and first ages.
Okay,
So-
yeah, true. Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
So that we can't count that against them. We could count it almost everything else against them, but not that.
What's the use of it? Yeah.
Worms this way inside your mind. Let us in.
It is Stranger Things. Oh my god.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad we mentioned that. It's 100% they're doing Stranger Things.
Like weird creeping things on the ground, a dark
So-
materials monster.
Somehow that's Celebrimbor. I probably just butchered that. The guy who smiths the rings, right? And in the first season, the way he figures out how to smith the metal is he's like, oh, we're gonna put two metals together, and that will like work.
Oh man,
I'm-
such
I'm
an
brain
advanced
farting.
society never thought of
Yeah.
doing an alloy before.
Alloy, yeah. Like,
Oh
literally,
yeah,
he
that's
just
the
thought of
thing too.
concept of alloys.
They turn the elves into like this master race, pure blood, KKK freaking like grace.
There was so much wrong with it, and then also, so it's like the whole like Galadriel learns that the Halbrand was Sauron, and she doesn't tell anyone that. And after he just helped them make the rings, and the whole, and again, the big discovery was like, what if we mix the metals to make a stronger metal?
We need to applaud. Play the applaud sound. Your wife just made a comment that's worthy of applause. It sounds like something they would have written into this show as well. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Oh shit, dude.
It's a lot trying to control this. All right.
I think he has been here. I think he's been here among us all along.
So I saw Neurotic goofing on this. This is Halbrand. He's just wearing a blonde wig, and it's like nobody notices.
Wow.
They gave him the youthful hairline of Steve Buscemi.
Yeah. Well, it's because like they had him appear in Numenor like as a human normally, and it's like no, he appeared in Numenor as an elf. And yeah, as my wife said, Anatar. That's the alias he went by.
Yeah,
but
he
they kind of
was
ruined-
the giver of many gifts. He went by several names, and yeah.
But they ruined that by having Halbrand and Galadriel in Numenor. And now we just put a wig on him, and nobody's gonna recognize him.
What
That
in the
fish thing?
Cthulhu fuck was that?
What, this?
Sorry. Oh jeez.
I think it was in the first episode. I wonder it's like a flashback. Like they did the same thing in the first trailer for the first season when they were like they just flashed things that just literally showed up in the first episode in a 5-second period of time. So yeah, cool monster. We won't see any of it though.
Also,
Soul
did
in
you see
Middle
the
Earth.
Princess Leia hair and just I can do better? Was that her philosophy?
I don't know, man.
Is in peril.
Dude, she better never have a job again after this, Galadriel. Oh, this right here. Darkness will bind them. I think we all know the damn quote.
Also, why does
And
somebody
in the
have
darkness.
19 rings? Look at this
I know,
hand
why
right
was this
here.
a choice?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
look
I'm
at all of these rings.
Hey, we have these super special magical rings. Let's like disguise it.
Let's
under
make
all
them
these
look
other
very
rings.
ordinary and surround them with other useless rings.
Yeah. just the 3 most powerful rings besides one other. Yeah.
Oh, 3 were given to the elves.
But yeah,
Immortal,
darkness will
wisest
bind
of
them.
all
What is that supposed to? That's not the quote. The ring is what binds them. In the darkness, it binds. Yeah, whatever.
Oh,
Right.
you think they've read and care?
It's funny because
Again, what's up?
you would think that you will. I mean, like I said earlier, fan fiction, but I guess fans would actually have given a shit to do a better job.
Exactly.
100%.
It's
Yeah.
vandalism. That's the word I use. Is vandalism. It's arson. It's
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wait, hold on. Before we continue, AC, you've been very quiet. I want you to release all that pent up rage that you've been feeling over this dog shit fucking show. Please
Oh,
let it all out.
No,
man.
that's waiting for freaking Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
That's basically where I'm at. The only type of big show like this that I'm interested after season 1 of this horse crap is House of the Dragon.
Dude, I'm excited for that.
That trailer dropped 1 hour after this did.
Can we watch that? Can we watch that later? I want to see.
Yeah,
good.
let's do that after.
Probably off stream. We're about to wrap this
yeah,
up.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Sounds good.
We'll have the dwarven rings. So I've seen that a bunch of times. Him popping out of the cart. I cannot figure out for the life of me what the fuck just happened right
They're
there.
trying to one up anything
just, like,
that Legolas did.
Shoots ass cannon backwards out. I don't know.
He's like one of those girls who bites onto a stick, goes in scorpion pose, and shoots something with her feet. Same guy, same energy.
Okay, right quick. This is a major complaint. So what does this look like? This is Numenor, but what does it look like?
Gondor.
Yeah.
It looks like Gondor. You know how fucking stupid this is? So they're trying to say it's like, oh, the architect was influenced from Numenor, right? True. But they didn't have this thing in Gondor. That just was a part of the fucking mountain. They didn't build a separate structure for that.
They also didn't have a
Like-
boob behind it.
Which is yeah, you're right, and that's the reasoning behind its shape, is it was carved out of the freaking mountain.
So it's like they found like the one rock that would make it look like their Capitol building. Is that what you're trying to say? Like,
No, this looks like it was put together with stones brought in from somewhere else. Gondor looks like it was carved out of the mountain itself, which it was. So that's the whole
Which is
damn
way
point.
cooler. That's way cooler.
yeah,
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I'm in pain.
it should have looked. They should have a similar design, especially with like it coming from Italy. Like there's very cliffy islands, and it's like that could have used that type of feel.
Wait, hold on. I got to do this in a proper voice by Herman.
This episode of Rings of Power is sponsored by Kay's Jeweler, because every gift from Anatar begins with K.
Remember Eagles?
What the hell was that thing?
Yeah, that's you shall not. You know.
No, but what
Reference
was
that.
it? It wasn't a person. Was that
Oh,
supposed
that
to
was
be a
Gandalf.
wraith? No,
This?
not him. No.
That?
No. I don't know, man. That was weird.
Oh, this guy?
Oh yeah, that. What the hell is that?
Oh, he's an elf that is like father of these orcs. It's dumb. Don't worry about it. It's really dumb. He's like the one part that people said like, oh, I actually kind of liked him in this. And
This feels like
Yeah,
the
so
first episode of
dumb.
Rick and Morty. Don't think about it, Morty.
I forgot the name of this location, but we're getting an origin story for this.
Minas Morgul.
Minas Morgul, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay,
Yeah,
so
Minas
pandering.
Tirith is the place
that's my
outside of
thoughts.
Gondor, yeah.
Kahuna, those are my thoughts. Pandering. That's just the summary of it.
It's not even pandering. It's just I don't
Well,
know.
what do
man.
you call it when they're just trying to nod to the old shit so much, yet it's so different and not right? Like
I don't even feel hatred. I just feel numb. I feel nothing now. Holy shit.
Yay! Anyways, yeah,
Have you heard anything?
very
about the
downvoted
anime
trailer.
that's coming out?
What's
The
that?
what?
The anime that's coming out?
For Lord of
What?
the Rings?
Yeah.
Animated.
No.
Yeah,
The War of Rohirrim. I don't know. I've heard some bad news about it today.
I've heard. Oh, I
okay.
did. I heard about it, and I thought I dreamed it. I thought it was fake.
I thought the good news I heard was the guy that was show running it talked mad shit about this show
Ooh, that is good news.
on
That is
Twitter,
good news.
like when it first came out.
Mm.
Learn.
What did you hear today?
I did hear bad news though about it being like a female warrior main. Yeah.
It can be done right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah, but the thing is like we always say that it can be done right, but it's like you got to look at the reasoning why they're doing it.
Yeah,
and
The
it's for
Witcher,
wrong reason,
the
and
Witcher
therefore,
also could have been done right, and it
Yeah.
wasn't.
But I mean,
And
the one
it-
good thing is that the showrunner talked. I mean, he came on social media and said this looks like trash, and like talked about the first season like just horribly about it, which gave me hope that maybe maybe it'll be something that's worthwhile, because he was talking
Yeah,
just
yeah.
mad shit. Like
I did hear about that. I think.
Yeah,
well, that's a
Heard
good
something.
thing.
It's like people don't complain about The Witcher. I'm like, yeah, The Witcher is not a great show, but it's infinitely more watchable, I think, than this. It's at least there's something good you can get out of that, not this. Like I don't like how they did certain things in the show, but I'm like, oh, the dragon, they handled the golden dragon okay, or that one
The
one
Witcher,
creature looked it looked okay. I liked the like some of the creature designs.
It wasn't insulting.
Yeah, it
to
wasn't
the stuff
insulting
until like season. I did not
until
like
they
season
started
2.
dropping the F-bomb every other sentence in the second season. Yeah.
It just went downhill bad.
As you do.
The first couple episodes were really good, and then it just like. But
As
yeah,
you do.
it is what it is. But Dio, thank you for coming.
thank you for having me, dude. It was
It was a
great
blast,
talking
man.
to you
Yeah.
guys, dude.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was fun.
Yeah, I hope get some more sales. It was a great comic, guys. If you are looking for a comic, buy his tome.
Absolutely, I'm
Reckoning.
pissed off.
It was
Now I
a
have to buy
great-
another comic. No.
Thank you guys. I
But yeah,
blast, man.
Pritchard, any closing statements?
Well, just if you're still listening at this point, thanks for watching. You can take the episode with you if you go to pritchardpub.substack.com. You can download it for free. Otherwise, you can just listen to it again on Spotify or on mine or Kahuna's channel once the audio is uploaded. And yeah, that's about it. You can tune into Pritchard Pub on Thursdays. This week we have Timo Burnham as the guest.
All right.
Oh, it's your turn with a burn
It's your
pan.
turn.
right.
He's on the Iron Seas next. No.
Nice.
All right, Kahuna, what about you, man?
I got a lot of stuff that I've started putting together, but I have a lot of video content left to edit. But I have 2 other people lined up for the upcoming episodes of the Iron Age Legends. Anyone with comics, Dio, if and when I read your comic, I'm sure I'd probably love to have you on there as well. And
Awesome, man. Thank you.
yeah, no, man, it's fantastic. But yeah, no, there's just a lot of a lot of life stuff, a lot of work, a lot of creative stuff as well, and I'm just a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. I'm very excited.
Nice.
All right, Dio, anything you want to plug? Anything more?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about getting plugs for my
Nice.
hair.
I thought you meant for your ears.
Dad joking.
Like,
Dio,
Dio, I hate to tell you,
It's too late.
Based.
No, just working on my book and that's pretty much it, man. Yeah, just trucking along and getting lost in that world. So yeah, check out the Toma Reckoning on your favorite crowdfunder, and that's pretty much it, man. Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Oh yeah.
guys, I am less than 10 subs away from 200. Come on,
Nice.
push me over, please. Besides that, hey, like it if you're watching this. You can find me on YouTube, Bad Sauce. You can find me on Twitter, Bad Sauce.
I mean, frankly, after a certain number of subs, I just stopped counting. It's just too many to count.
And you can find me on Substack, Bad Sauce. So yeah, just follow me on that stuff, guys. We're usually me and Pritchard and a little bit of Kahuna in there. We're working on our own 40K universe because somebody's gonna step in and do it. We got a bomb ass world. We just got to get it ready for presentation. Well, yeah.
We present you aliens, 3 tits. It'll be tremendous.
Yes.
Just one last thing.
Boobs. 2 things that have only never let me down in this entire country's history: the First Amendment and boobs.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, later, guys.
Ball with the ball, the bang, the dang, dig. Set the boogie, sit up, jump the boogie. Ball with the ball, the bang, the dang, dig. Set the boogie, sit up, jump the boogie. Ball with the ball, the bang, the dang, dig. Set the boogie, sit up, jump the boogie. Ball with the ball, the bang, the dang, dig. Set the boogie, sit up, jump the boogie.